E aí, felas? O disco levou mais ou menos uns 2 meses para ser finalizado. E o nome She's So Unusual, como bom português, ela é tão diferente, meio que surgiu numa brincadeira de uma música da Ellen Kane, que na verdade serviu de inspiração para a personagem Betty Boop. E aí eles brincando lá, cantando essa música, eles falaram, vamos trocar e vamos colocar o nome do álbum de She's So Unusual, porque He's So seria ele é tão diferente. Aí colocaria ela fazendo alusão assim, entenderam? Vamos então para o segundo single, o segundo clipe, que na verdade era para ter sido o primeiro. Primeira composição da Cyndi Lauper, na verdade, composição, porque a Cyndi, de verdade, ela queria ter feito todas as músicas desse disco. A Cyndi até chegou a mostrar algumas composições para a gravadora, mas eles não curtiram não. David Wolff, de novo, foi lá e mexeu os pauzinhos para que alguma coisa que a Cyndi escrevesse entrasse no disco. David conseguiu colocar a Cyndi em contato com outros compositores. Então ela iria compor uma música barra um outro aí. E saiu Time After Time. Que, na realidade, esse título da música era para ter sido um título provisório.
It was very difficult to get to write, you know, so I kind of kept fighting to write the song. And I just wanted to write. So I would just write titles. Sometimes I'd open up the TV Guide and write titles. Time After Time came out of TV Guide. It was never, ever meant to stay. Ever. It was a movie, actually, with Malcolm McDowell and Mary Steenburgen. And I didn't even realize, I didn't care that I took the title because I was just going to use it as a fake title. It was just to have something to repeat. You know, sometimes you do that and then you change it. After I wrote Time After Time, I never did that again. Because I realized when I tried to take Time After Time out of it, song fell apart. So I couldn't take it out. So then I started to feel really bad. You know, but then I figured, now it's not really the same story. It's not. And then I realized there were a million songs called Time After Time. Frank Sinatra sang a song called Time After Time. Tom Petty had written a song called Time After Time, I think. And so I just, I kind of went with it. But yeah, I fought to write the song. And we'd be in the studio, and then Rick, once he heard it, got really protective. You know. I did a lot of, and when I write, it's usually just, I go into the rhythm of it, and the sound, and I kind of trance out and just tape whatever comes out. Sometimes it's not so good. Sometimes it's good. I don't care anymore. I actually probably never cared. I just wanted to write. And I used to always say, I used to pray all the time and say, I don't care. It doesn't have to come from me. Just send me something. Let me write. Kind of weird to think like that, but I would sing, and I would, how do you explain it? You ride the spirit that comes to you. So you close your eyes and you sing along with whatever music, and you ride the spirit that comes to you. And whatever you hear that's supposed to happen with that sound, then you can direct a little where the melodies should be. So that's how I write. And that's how I was writing. And it was so easy with Rob because we had made an album together and we did all that work together all the time. So we kind of knew where each other was going to go, you know. And, you know, it came out the way it came out. I remember I was always given so much grief about where's the hook, you know, that those words don't sound simple enough, that when Rob Hyman turned around and he said, watching through windows, you're wondering. I said, really? You think that we're going to be able to do that? And he said, why not? So I said, okay, because I really was sitting, looking through a window, watching the dark turn to gray because it was turning to dawn. And Rob had just broken up with his girlfriend. So I just started talking to him. I wrote down everything he said about his relationship. He even said things like suitcase of memories. That whole first verse was about Rob. Now the second verse, that was about me and about David. There we were at the record plant. Rob and Hyman and I were writing time after time. And I was in the studio, and Rick Chertoff was there going, yeah, no kidding. My watch is going backwards, you know. It's, no, I'm not kidding. Look at this. The second hand is unwinding. And I thought, great lyric. Right? Right? Yeah. You know, everything came from real life. You know, at that time, Dave Wolf came to see me in a show. You know, at that time, I lived in a 5-floor walk-up. You know, usually by the 3rd floor. A lot of people were going, so Sin, see ya, call ya. And I took a lot of stuff from me. I had a lot of shit. So Dave Wolf actually walked me up the stairs on the 5th flight. I put the key in the door. So I was thinking, he's the keeper, right? And of course, when you have a loft bed and you live in 5-floor walk-up, let's face it, that's another flight. The guy has to really like you, right? One day, he climbs up the other flight of stairs, and I had this little clock I really, really loved, and he knocked it off, so it fell and smashed. So that wasn't bad, except for the fact that I really liked the clock. And he said, don't worry, I'll get you another clock. So I said, okay. And he goes to his mother's house. Yeah, I know, but he meant well, and he brought me back a vintage clock, which I'm thinking, wow, it's vintage, okay? I wind it up, and that freaking clock was so damn loud, I had to put it in the bathroom, because that was the only other room in the place, you know, because it was a studio. So I would put it in the tub with some towels, close the shower curtain, close the door, stuff the bottom with the towels, you know, go climb up the loft bed, lay down, try and go to sleep. And that fucking clock, it was so loud. So, you know that line in the song? Lying in my bed, I hear the clock tick and think of you? No lies. That's where it came from, right?
Time after time, and every time we put it up, it just felt absolutely magical. You know, it's just every time I just pushed the faders up from the time we started it to the time it was mixed. I mean, at every single step, it just lit up the room every single time.
One day she came in with the title from a movie that she got from TV Guide, and that was the genesis of it.
I will catch you, I will be waiting. There's something, a little angst.
There's an enigma to the song that I felt like, is it a happy song or a sad song? You know, the lyric is very uplifting, but it's actually, the video was very sad. At the end, Cyndi's crying, and so there's this kind of edge to it where it just wasn't clear, and I think that was also the key to people just getting on it and liking it.
Curiosidades do clipe. Há vários momentos naquele clipe que na realidade são reais. Por exemplo, a parte em que a Cyndi ela tira o chapéu e mostra o novo corte de cabelo pro namorado dela, é verdade. Ela não tinha mostrado ainda que ela tinha feito um quadriculado aqui do ladinho. E a reação dele foi verdadeira.
The song Time After Time, a very emotional song. And after girls just want to have fun, which was very, in the words of a lot of people, bubblegum and pop, this was a song that I think really gave people the understanding of what kind of talent Cyndi had.
And she kissed me in the video. And she said, goodbye, Mom.
That did it.
I think her mom realized what was beginning to happen to her daughter, and that stardom was really coming.
I'm standing there with my duffel bag, and all of a sudden it dawned on me that it wasn't too long ago that I really had a real duffel bag.
She was like looking into my eyes, like really passionately telling me I gotta go, and I was like, whoa, man, this is intense.
In the final scene, Cindy supposedly boards a train and leaves town. And we wanted it to be a very emotional moment with that tear that would come as you were leaving everything that you loved.
All of a sudden, the surroundings of it reminded me of leaving and going to Canada by myself with a duffel bag.
All of us just almost gasped silently. At just the right moment, she just turned towards camera, and a tear came down her cheek to camera. I mean, and I just went, oh my God, that's the shot, you know. And it was like one take. You couldn't make that happen again. And at that moment, I also knew Cyndi was an actress too.
It was Cyndi thinking, I'm going to reach people who nobody's thought about reaching. She was the first artist ever to have her music videos closed captioned.
Até mais, fellas!